Okay, hi. I'll be doing part 4 right now, so let's get to it. Next one I have is Interstellar, the recent film from Christopher Nolan. This is a film that I have not seen since I saw it in the IMAX. This is mainly because it really takes a lot to actually watch it. This is a very long film. It runs close to nearly 3 hours, and it's mostly exposition and stuff to do with science. It is gorgeously shot, very good. There's some great acting, especially from like Matthew McConaughey, Anne Hathaway, Jessica Chastain, and all the others. This is a film that is quite visually similar to Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey. Now, I kind of look forward to his next film, Dunkirk, which seems pretty decent and okay. But I'll probably watch anything that Christopher Nolan directs, because he's kind of one of my favourite filmmakers. So this film is basically about Matthew McConaughey going into space with Anne Hathaway and many other people to find another place to live, like if Earth gets destroyed. But I do check it out. The visual effects are brilliant. The cinematography is gorgeous. And the next film I got mainly because it was kind of a £5 or something, but I got it because it's The Sound of Music, which won Best Picture in 1965, and I think this is a good film. It is a long film. I've not seen it since I've seen it from on Sky Movies a couple of years ago, but this does have some very good songs and has won a ton of Academy Awards, including, like I said, the Best Picture Oscar. So, do check it out. If you haven't seen it, shame on you, because this is pretty much a landmark film from the 1960s, back when Hollywood was glistening. And the next film that I got is Richard Linklater's Me and Orson Welles, starring Zac Efron, which is this is back when Zac Efron was getting into more dramatic roles, when he was trying to shy away from High School Musical and all that stuff. He previously did 17 again, but he was getting into more dramatic roles. Like, if you've seen this and Charlie St. Cloud and all these other things, and The Paperboy, Zac Efron can act. He's a pretty good actor. And he has done some very good comedies like Neighbours, and I'm looking forward to that Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. But this is Zac Efron going to work for Orson Welles, played by Christian McKay, who is working in Orson Welles' production of King Lear. And I've not seen this for a long time, but I'm gonna watch it, mainly because it's a brilliant film. It's a good film. Next film I have is I bought this along with Me and Orson Welles in an eBay deal, because I previously bought a book on eBay called Shutter Island by Dennis Lehane, and I picked this and Me and Orson Welles up as I didn't want to just buy a book on eBay, just the book. I'd probably get a DVD just to round things up, and this was on offer along with Me and Orson Welles, and it's Danny Boyle's A Life Less Ordinary. It's his third film after Shallow Grave and Trainspotting, and it's about Ewan McGregor, who kidnaps Cameron Diaz's character for cash after he's been sacked from his job, and they wind up falling in love. Now, I've pretty much seen all of Danny Boyle's movies except for The Beach and 28 Days Later. I've not seen those two, but I've seen most of his films. And this is quite a good film. Despite the fact that it's set in America, it still has a Danny Boyle type feel to it. So I recommend you check this out. And the next one I have is the Pianist, Roman Polanski's The Pianist, about the life of Władysław Spielman, played by Adrian Brody in a brilliant role. He won an Oscar for it. He is a pianist, a Jewish pianist, who tries to survive the Holocaust after escaping from boarding a train to a concentration camp. And it's him trying to spend the rest of his life trying to live through the war, and it's beautiful. And this was a film that's kind of brought Roman Polanski back to form. He won Best Director, but couldn't pick it up due to obvious reasons. And here's the disc. So I recommend you check it out because it is a beautiful film, and it's shot so well, and it describes sort of how war isn't good. Next one I have is Gladiator. I've not seen this in a long time. It's a 3-disc edition. It looks very tattered because I got it at CEX, but it's a 3-disc edition. One of the legendary revenge stories of Russell Crowe getting revenge on Joaquin Phoenix for killing his family. So this is actually a pretty good edition because this has 3 discs. It has both it only has the extended cut, which is a pretty longer version of the film, so that's good. And it's packed with a lot of features, including all the stuff from pre-production and production. There's even a documentary about Oliver Reed, who this is sadly his last film, and he died halfway through the production, so they had to finish off his character by using other takes and getting in all these body doubles to sort of fill in those roles. And that documentary is actually quite good, and it's actually a mini documentary as part of a long documentary, but it is very interesting. And Gladiator is a good film. It's a big epic. It's won Best Picture. It's won I think it's won an Oscar for visual effects, and Russell Crowe's performance is quite good. So do check it out. Actually, if you can find this anywhere, do pick up the extended one because it has a lot of features in it. And the next one I got is The Breakfast Club. I picked it up because I didn't really see it, and it's pretty good. It's brilliant. It's one of those. The standout performance of this is Judd Nelson, who's the film's about these kids coming together on a Saturday at school to get detention in the library, and it's them talking and really bonding, and they're all coming together, and it's pretty depressing in some points, and it's a really good. It has obviously Don't You Forget About Me, which is an unforgettable song. It has an unforgettable soundtrack, but this is something that you'd probably this is a film you probably have to see because it's one of those landmark films. I think it's even in the 1001 films you must see before you die book. So do check it out. This next one that I got this at like Cash Converters. I think it was like 99p or something, or not sure the price. But it's Blow. It's the real life story of George Young, who is he was one of the first cocaine smugglers who smuggled cocaine from like Mexico into America, and how he got rich from it, and then eventually the police got him, and he's serving time in prison. Although I think he's out now, but yeah, and basically the film's director Ted DeMay, I think he's related to director Jonathan DeMay. He died like a couple of months after making this film, due to an overdose. Like he died after the film came out, which is a bit hypocritical, seeing as he made a film that teaches of how it's wrong to deal drugs or smuggle drugs. Yeah, but this does have a pretty good soundtrack, and I think it actually has an interview with the real George Young, who Johnny Depp plays, and I think this has it has a bit of a Scorsese approach to it, to similar other Scorsese copies like The Big Short and more recently War Dogs. So do check this out. Obviously, Johnny Depp's kind of one of my favourite actors, and I do tend to enjoy anything that he does. So do check this out. And the next film that I have is Jim Sheridan's In America. It's basically about this Irish family who sneaks into America to start a new life after the death of their youngest son, who died of a brain tumour. And it's about how they cope with the death and how they cope with their new surroundings, and how the father, played by Paddy Considine, is a struggling actor and he's trying to get work in these Broadway shows, but they're like illegal immigrants, so they can't really get any jobs. They have to get low key jobs, and it's about the people that they meet, and it's told through the eyes of the older sister, played by Sarah Bolger, and her video camera. And I need to see this again because I don't think I've seen it in a long time. Like I said, I think in the first video, I buy these films and they end up becoming shelfers, even if I've already seen them. So it's hard for me to really talk about these if I've not really watched them, like, or kind of kept my mind refreshed over them. And the next film that I have, I didn't actually buy this one myself. What kind of happened was, I was with my carer when I bought the other two DVDs, and he basically compared some of the DVD, the prices that people get when they're selling their DVDs to CEX. And so what he did was he bought like 10 DVDs, like trying to amount to a tenner, and they had to be like recent, and he was trying to get his money back that he bought these DVDs and by selling them to CEX, a plan that went very wrong because he didn't even get close to £1 for them. But he was worried that they wouldn't take Salt, which is a German DVD, despite the fact that this already has like an English track on it. So he let me have it. So I said I'd have it, and he gladly obliged. So anyways, this is about Salt, who gets accused of being a Russian spy, goes on the run. Turns out she is a Russian spy. So it's not very, it's not like a try to clear your name kind of thing. But it's kind of a little interesting, you know, the free cuts. So anyways, see you in part 5.